our FBA lineage and tell people, no, that woman ain't from our lineage. We're making a power move, and we're never supposed to make power moves. As foundational Black Americans, we're supposed to just do what the hell we're told. Ain't that what they tell us? The MSNBC Boule Democratic Shield crowd, like what's that? Tiffany Cross. Remember she got on TV? Yo, do what you told. Black men just need to do what you told. That's why the attack on Black men is so heavy. Because Black men are standing on business. Black men are stepping in front saying, hey, no, this candidate ain't what it's supposed to be. We ain't feeling her. The community ain't feeling her, and we're not going to really stand behind her like that. They don't want Black men making power moves like that because a lot of the sisters are following suit. A lot of Black men and Black women, I'm talking about foundational Black American men and women, we're not going for the gender divide. We're standing toe to toe with each other. We're standing side by side with each other, going up against the oppressive system, which is how we're supposed to do it. I despise the fact that the Democrats and Kamala and these people keep trying to cause a gender divide. That is detrimental to our community. We're not divided. Foundational Black American men and foundational Black American women, we always rock with each other. I rock with my sisters. I love my sisters to life. I put my life on the line for these sisters. And many of us brothers will do that. You're not going to create some damn janky gender divide. The sisters are riding with us and we're riding with them. We all need each other. Y'all do not do that gender divide with these other groups. You don't go to the East Indian community and do that gender divide stuff. They do not do that gender divide stuff with the Latino community. You don't never hear them say Latino women, they the backbone of this. Latino women are this. They don't do that. They deal with them as a group as they should. They get with us and they try to disempower us with a gender divide. And this whole narrative that I really despise, if we don't support the Hindu bedwench, we're misogynistic. You understand? If we don't support somebody who ain't of our lineage, who ain't gonna do a damn thing for us, they're telling us that we are misogynistic. I take great offense to that. And you should too. Let's get Veli Vale. She's out here in Detroit. Sister Vale, hop on, beloved.
What up, though? What up, though?
Oh, that's a dude. Okay, I thought you were a woman. Okay, my bad. Shit. Was that your
Hey,
grandmother? Is that your grandmother on your picture or something?
yeah, FBA, yeah. That's my grandma sister actually.
There you go.
Yeah,
My bad.
but
Okay.
how you doing, bro? Just want to tell you, they with Obama again, bro. At this point, I think Obama kind of just hurting her causes, bro. Cause Eminem, he's not really like he's not. We don't fuck with Eminem like that in Detroit, bro.
I
Like the
know.
grassroots,
I
and he's
know.
not really
I know
our
this.
culture, you know. So like he rapping the lyrics, it was cringy, you know. So I just want to tell you, keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna land my plane because of my work, bro. But you to go, keep popping your shit, and don't let these tethers. Another thing is, and majority of black people that say Eminem is the GOAT are tethers, by the way. No grassroots are saying that, bro. I'm from Detroit. I did not grow up listening to him. I'm from 7 Mile. We didn't grow up listening. That's it. You know, the
Thank you.
grassroots. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's a little secret for everybody. And I like some of Eminem stuff. And I think Eminem can rap. I mean, he's not the greatest, but I like some of Eminem stuff. I think he can flow a little bit. But let me tell y'all a secret, man. The black folks in Detroit, they ain't on Eminem like that. They don't really. The black folks in Detroit don't really prop him up like that. In fact, you know, they just don't really prop him up like that. I'm not going to denigrate the guy. I don't want to, you know, yeah, yeah, make him catch strays because of the Obama thing and Kamala thing. But the D don't really rock with him like that, like that. You know, they cool with him, but they don't really stomp for him like that. Meaning that him going up here stomping for Kamala, that ain't gonna move the crowd in Detroit. I'll put it that way. Eminem going up here stomping for Kamala, that's not going to galvanize the brothers and sisters in Detroit at all. You understand? And that's not a diss towards Eminem. Again, I don't have a problem with Eminem, but that's just not galvanizing the people. Let me get my brother Afro Elite in the building. Afro, what's up, brother?
What's up, Tariq? You hear me?
I can hear you, brother. What's going on?
I got a couple of things about the Eminem. if we notice when he first came out, there was a big corporation push with Eminem trying to make him the GOAT, make him the face of hip hop. Back when he first came out with the Slim State Shady stuff. When he started getting addicted to drugs, he fell off, and he never really, despite the corporate push, he never really came back on like that. That's
Mm.
why in the last few years he's been trying to play this white ally role where he's been like taking a knee and he's been throwing his fist up in the air. It's stuff Eminem is not known for doing. Eminem is trying to catch back on, so he's trying to brand himself as this white ally to the black community so he can kind of get back on. A lot of people don't know Eminem came out with an album this year. Most people don't know that because it didn't really go nowhere.
Mm.
Eminem has been dropping albums after albums and they have not gone anywhere. He does not have the relevance he once had at all. Eminem doesn't have the relevance of most rappers today, if we're going to be very honest. So he's doing this so he can try to seem like an ally, so he can try to seem progressive. But honestly, to answer your question, it's not effective because Eminem doesn't have any influence, not really even in the rap game today, to be honest.
You go, my man. Afro Elite in the building. Afro Elite. But yeah, man, they're really pulling out all the stops. They're pulling out all the stops. Everybody give me a retweet. Y'all retweet this space to let everybody know we're in here. Everybody just take 2 seconds and give a retweet. And I'm gonna get some more calls in a second. But listen, you know what it is, family? Why is the Hollywood music industry and the entertainment industry just really going so hard body, and the tech industry as well, going so hard for Kamala Harris? Why are they going so hard for her? And the Democrats, basically. They're going so hard for this woman who has the personality of a shoe. Why are they going so hard? And the public ain't really rocking with her like that. That's why they got all this money behind her, and she ain't really um leading in front of Trump. She's still low-key losing. But why are they putting much money behind her in the Hollywood system? See, one reason is because, Hollywood, they receive a lot of tax breaks from the government, and they're dependent on state level incentives. Yeah, Hollywood is real big on that. They need a lot of those incentives and regulatory breaks that the government can issue in regards to distribution and the films and just a lot of stuff they get from the government system. Also, they're clicked in with the big tech and the big surveillance people, the Silicon Valley crowd, and Hollywood is clicked in with the Googles, Facebooks, and all of these social media platforms, and they get little kickbacks, and um, they get government subsidies and the whole nine yards. And another thing, the entertainment business, they are really stomping behind Kamala because they need some of those government goodies and some of those legislations to allow them to do corporate and cultural manipulation with all of this surveillance stuff that goes on with social media. Y'all better understand, man. And I got to do a deep dive on how social media is used to do surveillance and just keep track on everybody. You understand? And the Hollywood system and the big tech systems and those corporations, they're all clicked in with each other. They work hand in hand, and they work with government entities to get laws passed so they can spy on people. A lot of the conservatives don't like that, but a lot of the left wingers, that's their whole thing. They allow that stuff to happen. It's a real interesting dynamic. And this is why the Hollywood system, they get their artist to go out here and toe the line for the Democrats. That's why you got all of these entertainers running out here, basically being held hostage. Like, hey, you better go out here and stump for our candidate, or you might not get that next role. You understand? Especially with the black entertainers. The black entertainers are living hand to damn mouth. It's why you got these rappers trying to get put on again. You got Plies and all of these people kind of towing the line. The only entertainers that's really telling the truth are the ones who are independent, who are not fully dependent on the system. They know how to go out here and get it on their own, like Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin has been going in on Kamala Harris, but Eddie Griffin can go somewhere and sell out an arena without the corporate structure because he has a track record like that. So he's one of the ones going in on Kamala and the Democrats. You see? And also, you got to understand Hollywood has always been the major DNC funding machine. They've always been big backers of the DNC, you know? And also, with some of these sexual lifestyle situations that's pushed by the left wingers, they need that legislation coming from the government. They need them to co-sign off this stuff and normalize it and put these laws out here so that they can monetize it. And again, the whole trans thing, I told y'all about that. The whole trans thing, look at the word trans. They're using the word trans all across the board. They're normalizing the word trans. They'll say transgender, then it'll become transracial, then they get into some transhumanism, and you better understand what that is. When you get certain procedures done, and I broke this down not too long ago, when you get certain procedures done on your body, your DNA, if it gets altered by a patented substance, technically that is transhumanism. And technically, that can be patented. You can be owned. Technically, it's some real deep stuff. Because if they can put something in you that has a patent and it alters your DNA and turns you into a transhuman, and y'all better look up transhumanism. I broke this down almost a decade ago. If you are now transhuman, you are not really a human, so you don't have the same rights as a human being. So now the Constitution can't protect you. Certain governing bodies can't protect you. Big tech and the Hollywood system and the entertainment industry, they can kind of do with you what they want to do. They can have a certain level of control over you. If you are a transhuman, think about that. We got to start thinking like chess moves. When they say certain things, look at what they mean and what they mean for later on down the line, and look at why they're pushing certain things. You understand? And look at the people who's pushing back from it. Look at certain things that were being pushed by the left wingers. I won't say no names. I won't say what was pushed. Y'all know what it is. And look at the people who were against that stuff. You understand? And look at some of the conspiracies that were behind certain things that were pushed. What were people saying about certain things? I got to watch my words here. That's another thing, family, because you want to know control. If you say certain things, your page gets flagged. You get banned if you say certain things about certain procedures. You know how heavy that is? I've had some of my videos where they've gone back and I guess they're using some kind of AI scrubbing machine where they're just scrubbing old episodes of people's podcasts and videos. And they're finding words and narratives where I mention certain things and they say, oops, that's misinformation. We have to take that video down. I mean, this is from a couple of years ago. They got AI bots scrubbing the internet for certain keywords about certain things that were mandatory on us. I got to watch words. This is heavy. You understand? Look at the people giving this big ass money to Kamami, who's a weak candidate. Why are they giving all this big money to this woman? She's a weak candidate. They need her weak because they know that she'll do anything they tell her. Listen, y'all know, let's talk turkey. Kamala Harris can barely read off a teleprompter. When the teleprompter, remember when she was doing a speech and the teleprompter went out? That woman was like a deer in headlights. She can't think for her damn self. They can't even have this woman on interviews by herself. Remember, they had to do some of the first interviews. She had to sit there with Tim Walsh basically holding her hand, and that was taped. They had to tape it. Then when they start letting her do interviews by herself, she craps her pants. She just falls all apart. They give her a little pushback. She gets to tweaking and bucking her eyes. That's a weak candidate, man. That woman can't stand on business. And that's what they want. They want somebody who's weak, who they can control, who's not going to push back. Kamala's going to do anything the corporate structure tells her to do. That's the perfect candidate for them. They don't want a candidate who's going to say, oh, hell no, I got an executive order. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the opposite of what you guys are trying to do. They don't want no strong candidate. And my thing is, listen, from a business standpoint, I like people who know how to handle business. I like people who can stand on business. Can you imagine Kamala Harris with her little chopper suit wearing herself somewhere in a world meeting with some of these heavyweights, with some of these big dogs, with Putin and some of these folks, Kim Jong-il or whoever? Can you imagine her with some of these heavyweights, these dudes out here, these world leaders who stand on business for real? And she gets in there cackling. Come on, I don't want her sitting around Putin and them dudes cackling. You know, I don't know that. I'm nervous about that. You dig? I'm very nervous about that. That woman will cackle us all the way to World War Damn 3. Y'all dumbasses sitting up here supporting her because she went to a black church. Most of y'all ain't doing that, but come on, man, we got to stop dumbing out like that. Her going to a black church, that don't mean nothing. And they really putting it on us. They really want us to stomp for her because, again, foundational Black Americans, we set the trends. And too many of us are pushing back against Kamala. That's the problem. And that's why a lot of folks in the dominant society, you know, there's a lot of reservations from them as well. But a lot of us in Black society, we're pushing back. We're saying, hey, that's not our candidate. And people can see that. Let me get Great Black Shark in the building. Great Black Shark in the building. What's up, my brother?
Salute to you, brother. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm grand, my brother. I hope all is well with your family. I want to make 3 quick points, man. And first and foremost, speaking to the topic of the room, I doubt that the on-code Detroit brothers and sisters are feeling any of that going on with Eminem. If anything, those brothers and sisters up there in Detroit are thinking about their bottom line and their economics. And the 3 quick points I want to make is, in an odd way, we actually owe the dirty, demonic Democrats a thank you. Oh, yes, we owe them a thank you. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. They've created generational lineage synergy between foundational Black American freedmen, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. And shout out to the on-code boomers out there. The second point I want to make is this. That whole gender divide thing, oh, it's game over for that when it comes to Black women, because if you think back to the pandemic, sisters see who were the ones that were most evicted. It was them. They're looking at things across the board when it comes to these illegal aliens coming over here getting tangible. So their great enemy regarding that gender divide with our sisters who are very intelligent. I'm proud of all you sisters that are standing on the right side of history. Sisters are looking at math, okay?
Yeah.
And last point I want to make, brother, the reason, in my opinion and estimation, maybe you can speak to this, the reason why Hollywood is so galvanized to be behind them, Hollywood for many a decade in this country has been used as a distraction for the masses by the politicians. I mean, for example, go back to the pandemic. Remember they were telling us with the so-called beer bug, watching my words here,
Right.
oh, it's so contagious. You can't go here, you can't go there. And it was a serious thing. However, they were in a rush to get sports stadiums back filled up, concert arenas, got to get you back in these movies. Now, when you think about everything else that they put these restrictions on, that shows that Hollywood as a distraction is an important component of how they keep control of the masses. Because I'll land with this. They, at the average politician, and we're talking about primarily the Democrats in this case, they view the American public as very foolish. So they kind of use Hollywood like jingling some keys in front of a little baby to distract us from the real issues that we need to be focused on. But Democrats, I got bad news for you. It's game over. With that said, I'll land my plane.
My man, I appreciate that. Yeah, that gender divide nonsense, we ain't going for that. We're not going for that gender divide stuff. Y'all not gonna sit here. I saw somewhere they had Stacey Abrams. They dug her out from somewhere, talking about some misogyny and sexism. That's a talking point coming from the DNC, by the way. They're sending all of their shills when they all get on TV saying the same thing. That means there's a memo going around. So the memo is, well, yeah, a lot of black men, they don't want to vote for Kamala because they don't want to see a woman. A lot of black men are they misogynistic. Racism and misogyny is the same thing. It's the same branch on the same tree. It's the hell out of here. And with Kamala Harris, that's like your mama. No, it ain't like my damn mama. No, she ain't. I'm very offended by that. We're not misogynistic because we don't want to support a damn Hindu bedwench. Black family, don't let them shame you. You are not misogynistic. You are not obligated to support a Hindu damn bedwench. You under no circumstances are you obligated to support that. Y'all out of y'all damn mind if you think you're gonna shame us into supporting a Hindu bedwench. You are sick. And then try to say we're misogynistic because we're not for her BS. That's not gonna work. I'm not no misogynist. I do not have a problem with black women being in certain positions of leadership. I don't have a problem with that. Y'all not going to sit up and make Kamala Harris the face of black women because she's not. That woman is not of our lineage. You're not going to sit up and tell me we don't like to look at strong black women leaders or whatever. Let me tell you something. You're not going to pull that on me. My idols were black women, people who I literally idolize. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, that's a person that I idolized. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, her book, that book was the book that woke me up. You understand? I mean, idolize that woman. That book woke me up. Shahrazad Ali, that was another one of my idols. Two of my biggest idols are black women. Love those women. You understand? For real, idolize. I'm talking about, listen, my son, I named my son after Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. My son's middle name is Cress. That's how much I rock with Dr. Welsing. I named my son after her. His middle name is Cress. Don't tell me about no damn, we don't like black women this and black women that. No, man, if you are a rider, we give sisters all the praise. We give our sisters praise nonstop when they are riders for the community, those who are praiseworthy. Our sister Vicky Dillard does great work. We love that sister, phenomenal sister. We give her praises and props all the time. Love that sister. Where's Wani Spots? Wani, that's my other sister. Love Wani. Wani's so phenomenal. We got a display. We got an image of Wani at the Hidden History Museum. Wani's a phenomenal sister. Love that sister. You understand? We give props where props are due. We give praises to those who are praiseworthy. We give props and praises to the foundational Black American women in our communities who hold the communities down, who feed the communities, who take care of the kids in the community, who help people's families in the community when they're in need. Those are the queen mothers, those church elders that we love and respect. We respect them all day. That respect and love does not extend to Hindu bedwench that locked brothers and sisters up left and right and then went home to lay up with her damn white zaddy. I do not owe her the same amount of praise as I do these other foundational Black American women, and neither do you. And we will not be shamed. You know what? I saw something, and I put this on my Twitter. There were some people, they were protesting. I don't know if they were protesting Palestine or something. They were protesting something. And they had a sign, and I didn't like this sign they put up. The sign was, "Dream bigger than a Black woman president committing genocide." So that was a shot at Kamala Harris. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that because when it's something negative, they're going to try to blacken her up so they can dump on Black women. I didn't like that at all. That's why I don't like her with all that cosplaying bullshit as black. Because when something negative goes down, black women catch strays because of this little musty bed wench who ain't even a foundational black American woman. I don't like that at all, because if it's going to be something positive, they're going to be like, "Ooh, East Indian, first Indian American, the first Asian American, the first Indian, Asian." They're not going to put the dirt on the Indian and the Asian part. But because she's cosplaying as us, what happens, all the dirt and the filth gets thrown on black women. I don't like that shit. I don't like it. That's why I do not like her cosplaying, because she does this whole three-card Monty, this whole thing where you can kind of change what your identity is going to be in the moment. Right there, it shows you ain't black. We don't get that luxury. That's the part of what blackness means. Blackness means there's no sanctuary, so you just got to stand on some damn business. You can't run and hide your ethnicity. And because we couldn't run and hide and disguise or camouflage our ethnicity, damn it, we just had to stand on business and fight for ours. That's what makes us black. That's what makes foundational black Americans fly. We didn't have the luxury to run and hide nowhere. We didn't have the luxury to get into some type of genetic escapism. We had to deal with it. And that toughened up our resolve. That made us tough people. That made our spiritual essence stronger. Yeah, we don't get to pass for something else. Yeah, other groups do that. They play that little game. They get to kind of pass for some other group. So that's why they don't really have no culture. These other groups, their culture ain't really as rooted and as thorough as ours. It's really not. Let me get brother, let me get Grinds in here. Let me get Deb Light. Let's get Deb Light in here. Let's get Deb Light, Miss Deb. Let's get Deb Light. All right. Miss Deb, you look like a K-Hive supporter.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Uh-oh. We got the K-Hive in the house. I saw you giving them thumbs down. Where you from, Deb?
I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I am from the land of J.D. Vance. I
Uh-oh.
was born in Hamilton, Ohio, which is right down the road from Middletown. They were like our biggest football rival when I was in high school.
Now, where's your family from originally?
My family is from Memphis by way of Arkansas. My mama was born in Stuttgart, Arkansas, and her people were a minister and a school teacher, my grandparents, and they eventually settled in Memphis. And my mother was a part of the Great Migration North, where the tail end in the 70s, and she became a school teacher because the people here protested that they didn't have enough black school teachers, and she went to a teacher's college in Memphis
Are your
and eventually moved here.
Hold on. Is your family descendants of freedmen?
Yes,
Um,
yes,
what state?
on both sides. On both sides. Literally, um, my dad's people are from Iowa, and like my great great grandfather literally escaped to Iowa and started a farm there, and eventually had a barbecue sauce thing going. And but yeah,
Okay.
so 'cause Iowa was a free state, so that's where we landed, and that's where I ended up being born in
Oh,
Iowa. Go ahead. What the hell? How many black people are in Iowa but me? So yeah, there's
yeah.
that.
So you grew up around a lot of white folks.
I grew up around a lot of damn white folks in Iowa, and then I'd spend summers with my grandparents in Memphis, and then Hamilton, Ohio is no joke either. There's a lot of white folks there because all those people where JD Vance is from, they come from Kentucky. They still call Hamilton and Middletown Hamiltucky and Middletucky because they recruited those people for the steel mills and the paper mills in these little small towns.
Yeah.
And that's yeah. So
So,
there you
so
go.
you're out there in Cincinnati, stomping hard for Kamala, and you're Gen X, right? You're Gen X?
It is all day.
Yes, indeed. So what are you supporting Kamala for, other than Trump is bad? Are there any proactive reasons you're supporting Kamala?
Kamala, yes, and I can't call her Kamala because that was the name of that wrestler, and that just seems kind of racist. But Kamala, I'm supporting her, namely because she seems to understand the issues of my generation,
Like what?
especially the most recent one. My mom is. I told you my mom was a came up here as a school teacher, and she's a retired school teacher now. She's 75 with multiple sclerosis. And I spent the last year pretty much not working, mostly taking care of her. I've had to work from home, and her latest thing for me with being able to have home health care aides covered by Medicare, which is not a thing. Most people think if you have Medicare, you can just get a home health aide. It does not work that way. The only way you can get a home health care aide is if they come home for after a hospital stay, and it's very limited, like the nursing care you can get. So I've literally spent the last year taking care of my mother. Her understanding this and making it a part of her policy changes the game for me. Like, it means I can get back into the workforce. It means I can do things that I haven't been able to do for the past year. It
Now,
means I can actually
hold on.
take better care of my mom.
Okay, now I
So it's a
hold on.
game changer for me. That
Okay,
one is.
okay, now hold on.
Every woman who has to take care, or every man who has to
Hold-
take care of aging parents, that's going to be a game changer for
Excuse me, are
us.
you pro Kamala? Did I get up and start throwing up hundreds for the wrong person? Is she pro Kamala, Tariq?
Yes, she
Oh
is. She
yeah.
I take care of my mother too. I'm a nurse. I'm a licensed nurse, and
Okay.
they just put her on hospice. And I do agree that they won't pay for certain things, but I ain't voting for no Kamala. I'm black
Well, I
first.
am.
I'm
I,
black.
I
I
am
am black
extra black.
first. I'm black
Um.
first. She does not care about black people. No, her insurance isn't paying for anything, but I'm finding a way. See, we take care of our people. Our lineage, we take
Right.
care of our mothers and our fathers. We don't just run and put them in a nursing home. So,
Exactly. I refuse. I moved in with my mom. I refuse to put my mom in a nursing home.
yeah, but
Um.
I hate to see you use this and use this as a way to
Her.
support Kamala. I take care of my mother every day. Just like I said, they put her on hospice.
Right.
She's sitting here right next to me right now, and I'm still voting for.
Well,
I'm
I'm
still not
sitting.
voting for her, but I'll wait for you to finish because I have more to say.
I
thank
mean, the only reason I'm awake right now is 3 a.m. here. And so I went to sleep for a while around 9, and I got back up, and I'm up because I'm doing laundry and I got to get food ready for tomorrow. And so, yeah, this is a 24-hour shift around here. If anybody understands taking care of parents, taking care of business, is me. I sleep when I can. I do what I can. I work during the day from home doing this little customer service weird job, but it's something I can do from here. And yeah, I've completely revamp my life so I could take care of my mother. So I get that, and I know a lot of us are doing it. And the home health, and not having to bankrupt yourself to put your parents in a home or put your parents in a nursing home, and them being able to be get in home care. That's a game changer for me. Nobody else is talking about that. Nobody else is saying that's a thing. She's actually doing it because she had to do it. She had to take care of her mother who had cancer. The fact that she understands that, for me, that's what I'm voting for. If it comes down to one damn issue for me, that's it.
Okay, let me get brother Reverend Damian Jones to chime in because Reverend Jones is stumping for Trump. Go ahead, Dr. Jones.
Brother, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm blessed, brother. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much, sir.
Good. My first time on your stage, man. Respect to you, brother.
Yes, sir. So, how do you feel about what the young lady is saying about her supporting Kamala because of some of the health care benefits?
Um, no, I mean, I respect how people want to vote. They can vote however they like to vote. We all have our different reasons based on our personal background and whatever's going on. Hey, she has something going on with her mother, which I
Yeah.
respect that. And if she feels like the policies that the Harris administration are going to benefit her. Hey, I support that. I'm not one to get on this app and argue with people about how they want to vote. Somebody's going to be wrong, somebody's going to be right. But what I have noticed, Brother Tariq, is that well-meaning Black people have woken up in large numbers, particularly Black men, and they're seeing right through the facade that has been the Democratic Party for decades. But I want to ask you this: have you seen this expose that Candace Owens has been doing the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. It's a very
Yeah,
interesting thing.
and so she uncovered yesterday, y'all. I mean, I know some people are kind of iffy on Candace, but go check some of her information out. She has revealed that Kamala is Jewish. She's Jewish. There's a lot of Jewish and kind of Hindu in there, which would lead one to think why she decided at the age of 50 to marry a white Jewish man because she's Jewish, right? I mean, check this out, Tariq. So for all these years, if she was raised in the black church, singing in the children's choir, at Black Howard, Black AKA. So if you're socializing with black men in all these different spaces, there's not a black man that you decide to marry and have children with, and then you decide to marry a white Jewish man. Hey, marry who you want to marry. I'm just kind of connecting the dots here. But then you stand in front of Black America and say, I care about you. I want to do certain things for you. Here's the other thing. After this farce of a plan that she put out for black men last week, then this week, shout out to Miss T, she put out a plan for Latino men. Nowhere on that plan for Latino men did I see weed. Why didn't she offer Latino men weed and marijuana as this type of carrot on a stick to attract black men? Now, Tariq, I have been involved with campaigns for over a decade now. I run campaigns. I know campaigns and politics like the back of my hand. Kamala's campaign is the worst campaign I've ever seen in my lifetime. The blunders strategically are awful. The Trump campaign is running circles around this campaign. She doesn't want to talk to people. She doesn't want to do interviews. I mean, and from what we hear from the inside, her staff briefs her, but she's just not prepared. I don't think I've ever seen a worse public speaker as an elected official in my life. I don't know about you. You've been around and seen some things too.
Agree. Horrible. She's horrible as a public speaker. She falls apart anytime you push back. She freaks out and starts twitching. She's horrible.
Yeah. Brother, kudos to you. I'm proud of black men. As you see on the mainstream media, they have no other choice now but to air when you're seeing these everyday regular black people in Detroit, in Atlanta, in Houston, in LA. They are just, I'm going to say this and I'll shut up after this. 4 years ago, you would get excoriated on this app as a black person supporting Trump. When I got on here in like 21, 22, I used to get ran down, kicked out of spaces, cussed out, all that kind of stuff for Trump. Now the tide has turned and people are seeing not so much that, hey, we think Trump is the savior of America or for Black America. We're just saying when we look at our choices of what we have, Trump provides the best option for our people and for America going forward. That's it. After these 4 years, Trump will be out of the way, and then we'll make another choice in another 4 years. And I'll say this last thing and I'll shut up, Tariq. I'm a Republican, used to be a Democrat. I don't advocate for black people to become Republicans. What I advocate for is black people to make objective choices each political cycle. If you feel like your values align with the Republican Party, by all means be a part of it. If you feel like, hey, I want to leave the Democratic Party and just be independent for a while and just kind of float out there and see what happens, that's fine. Because when you break up with a girlfriend, you don't need to rush into another relationship, right? That's called a rebound. What you need to do is just sit back and just chill, get to know yourself better, recalibrate where you are, and then decide
Go.
care about the future of your children, of your family, of values, of did I lose the connection? Can you still hear
No,
me, brother?
I hear
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If you care about those things, drag queen story time and those types of things, you best vote for Trump because what the Democratic Party is laying out for the future of our listen, I have a 14-year-old daughter now. A lot of things matter to me that didn't matter to me 6 or 7 years ago. Right. So if you care about your children, your grandchildren, the future of this nation, economics, the wage, the dollar, things of that nature, man, you ought to rush to the polls and vote for Donald Trump and JD Vance this election. But thank you for the time, brother.
Man, thank you so much. All right, let's get Brother Dear.
I would just like to say something to
Go
that.
ahead, dear.
One thing about Middletown, Ohio, which I don't know if you know this, and I told you a lot of those people came from the hills in Kentucky, they brought the Klan with them. There is no way that JD Vance is a white man of his Asian experience and ain't been to a cross burning. It's just not possible. Like those people, the people that live in
Hold on there. You don't want to go there because Biden's idol was a Klan member. Right? Let's not. Y'all don't do that. Biden's idol was a Klan member. All right. Joe Biden's idol was a straight up and down Klan member. Robert Byrd. All right, y'all not gonna run from Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd was a card carrying Klan member, ma'am. All right. So let's not. We got a Klan sympathizer.
Okay, but hang on a second. But let's hang on a second.
Sympathizer. Right
It's one
there.
thing to continue to make that
You what?
choice.
You what? I didn't hear you, dear. Okay, Deb, I didn't hear you because yeah, we're not gonna sit here and ignore Robert Byrd now.
Come off your mute, Deb. Unmute yourself.
I couldn't because he had muted me. So yeah. But real talk, can we talk about January 6th for a second? Is that okay? Can I talk about January 6th for a
What
second?
about it?
Because I want to talk about it matters to me because they brought the Confederate flag into the Capitol. Those people. They brought the Confederate flag since the Civil War. They took that Confederate flag into that building. The whole point of the Civil War was that they had never breached the capital of America. Those people took that flag into that building. They crossed a line. They crossed a boundary. They literally committed treason. I cannot support the guy who brought them into that building.
And
I
now,
think
treason is letting over all of these damn illegals. That's more treasonous, all right? Because January 6th was one day. We're getting a January 6th every damn day with all of these damn illegals coming over here, stomping down on our neighborhoods and committing all this crime. So we're getting January 6th every day. So yeah, we're that's treasonous too. So let's talk about all the treason.
I don't think treason is people trying to come here for a better life.
You get a better life in your own homeland. I'm not obligated. It shouldn't be my duty to pay for you because you failed back home. Why I got to pay for that? Why my tax dollars got to pay for that? Why are we obligated to pay for somebody who couldn't cut it back home? And then I have to sacrifice what my kids and the people in my community can do. I
Because America's fueling the drug war in their countries, because America's directly responsible
the
for
hell
that. Because America's not on the gold standard, we're on the drug standard. And if it wasn't for drug money, the economy would collapse.
oh,
That's why. Because America's directly responsible
no,
for that. America takes the violence to them, and those people are trying to escape the violence that we brought to their country. And we owe them a damn job.
okay, so if America's doing so much, if America was so bad, you wouldn't run to America if America was doing all that to you. All right, if they were doing that,
You know what? All these
oh
people who
no,
say if
no,
Trump
because if America was so bad, you wouldn't run your ass up here to the border. If a country is doing you so bad, you wouldn't want to run to it so heavily, ma'am. It don't work like that.
all these people who say if Trump gets elected, they want to leave the country, right? Now, so many people, so many folks that if Trump leaves, I can't.
I don't have you muted, dear. I don't have you muted. I got the handle. I got to get FBA goddess in here. FBA goddess, hop in real quick, dear.
How you doing, Tariq? I just got one quick question for her. She is vice president right now. My question is this: what has she done since she's been there for 4 years that she's so great that you want to vote for her now? I don't understand that when it comes to you, Kamala people. I say Kamala because that's what it sounds like to me.
Mm,
But anywho, why do y'all vote for her now? You so once gung ho. She was vote running for president before. Remember, she didn't make it. So what's so good about her now that you want to run and vote? She's so great. Tell me what's so great about her.
Go
She
ahead.
don't talk about shit. Oh, sorry, Kurtari.
Go ahead, Deb.
Well,
Deb.
I think in a world where First of all, for 3 years during the pandemic, we couldn't leave our dang old house. And then a lot of our allies, American allies, didn't trust us anymore. They did not trust America to do the right thing as far as the partnerships we've built across the globe. And she has spent the last 4 years building relationships rebuilding relationships with our allies and some of the people who really don't like us so much at all. And
Like
she
who?
spent years
Like
as far as climate change.
oh no, damn, slow down. Deb, if you say something, you're gonna have to elaborate, dear. What relationships is she building with internationally? Please, when she went over there
It
to,
is so hard. It is so you keep saying elaborate, but every time I
yeah, because you just keep going on. What relationships is she building when she went over there? When she went to like Russia or the Ukraine or whatever, she went over there and a war started right after she left. What relationship is she building? She went over there to Eastern Europe to talk, and they got to cutting up the minute she left. What relationships is she building? Then we had to start sending money all over the place. What relationship is she building? Go ahead. Come on, Deb.
you
Deb, what you
still keep going on, but you mute me every time I try to talk.
go
So it makes it seem like I'm not really making a point, but I really am. Um, the global partnerships that she's rebuilt with France, Germany, the UK, Britain, Scotland, Ireland. Well, that's really the UK. Reopened talks with China.
I don't have you muted, beloved. You're dropping butter biscuit crumbs on your phone, dear. Go ahead, dear. Go ahead.
I
Deb.
literally just put the screenshot in the jumbotron where you muted me because it's like I'm tired. It's like you ask me a question, but you mute me when I give you an answer. I just don't think you like my answers, and that's okay because it refutes everything you've been saying night after night after night after night. And I get that, but there is another point of view, and it's just not yours. And I'm sorry, but that's just life. Like everybody's not going to agree with you. I think a lot of things you say are really
Okay, okay. What you're not going to do, dear? No, no, no. What you no, 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 no. You're not going to babble because right now you're babbling. I asked you a question, and when I ask you a question, I don't want you to just babble and rant. I kind of want you to elaborate. You're just kind of saying stuff. You're talking about all of these strong relationships that Kamala has built with France and Ireland. No, not really. You're just saying stuff, sweetie. Deb,
okay.
you're just saying
It's hard for me to believe you when you
well, sweetie, you're just saying stuff. You're just saying stuff just because you're just doing it. I'm saying I'm gonna say so and it's true. No, ma'am. No. Okay, you have to elaborate on certain things. All right. Now go ahead. I want to talk, but just don't say stuff just to be saying it, man. You got to elaborate on certain things.
okay. I
Okay.
can do that
Yeah.
without being muted, though. I don't think you can handle that.
And some of the I'm not even pushing the mute button on some of these things.
It
Just
literally says muted by host every time I talk.
yeah, something is going on with the phone because you're kind of talking, paying attention. Let me hold your horses 1 second. Let me get Resurrect. What's your name? Resurrect.
Resurrect minds. Thanks for having me up, Tariq, man. Long time listener. Admire everything that you do for the Black community and all your projects.
Yes,
Not
sir.
Um,
doing nothing.
def, Definitely an inspiration to younger Black men. Um, I oh man, I'm just so infuriated with Deb's, talking points because she talks just like she's coming off of MSDNC. Talk show with Joy Reid or Rachel Maddow or something. The
Oh yeah.
problem the problem with people like her is they don't really care about the Black community. They're heavily invested, it seems like, in this new globalist agenda. I'm hearing her talking about climate change. That's a bunch of bull. I implore people just to look up Operation Popeye, Project Cirrus, or Project Cumulus. The government has been heavily invested in weather manipulation for a very long time. Operation Popeye is a project they ran in Vietnam from 1967 all the way to 1972. Now, if you think about if they did that back then, how well they perfected that art now in 2024. Another thing that she was saying about how the
How
United
can you
States,
say I'm not invested in the Black community? I literally teach Sunday school, sir. I
that
volunteer at my kids' school. I
Lord,
literally started a whole.
who
I started a coat exchange.
younger black people do not go to church, man. I mean, the black community is not
I
in the
literally
church.
Right. And so that's why I go out into my community,
Hmm.
and the young kids that are here, I've literally started a nonprofit to help them stay off the streets. They help fix bikes, and they work for elderly doing chores, and I work with their parents in partnership with the school.
Deb,
I've literally adopted my two nephews because their parents went to jail for selling heroin. And I'm 53 years old, with an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. Like, I support the Black community. I support the
Deb,
Black family. I don't see how you
Deb,
can say that.
Deb, where did
Well,
who
I
gave?
commend you.
Hold on, wait. Deb, your nonprofit. What Democratic organization helped fund your nonprofit?
None. It's through no Democratic organization. I didn't ask anybody. I've worked with the community to help build partnerships with the local businesses and with the schools and with the police department to help get these kids off the streets because they were out here running around wild, taking stuff off of people's back porches, leaving people's water hoses on. And
Slow
so
down.
we got together as a community and said, "Hey, we're going to raise these kids because these
Okay,
parents are busy."
slow
So I don't
down.
see how he can say I.
Slow down. See, this is what I'm saying. I got to get that mute button because you just get to ranting.
I
Somebody,
don't see how he can say I don't care about the Black community. That was just not nice.
hold on. Somebody's funding your nonprofit. Is getting money from somewhere. You said from the police. Who else is funding you? You're getting the money from somewhere. Some type of institution is giving money to your nonprofit. The police and who else, dear? Deb? Who else?
We went to the we went to every local business in our community, and they each fund a certain part of it, but that's it. We don't have any outside funding outside of our own neighborhood. And the parents that are involved and the schools have done us. We did a set aside project and a grant, and that's it. So we outside of that, we don't have any money. It comes
Who,
directly from our community. That's it.
who gave you the grant?
It's not even really a grant. It's like we apply for the state or whatever. It's really like we asked the local school board for money because we have a local school district, and they literally gave us like $500, but we had to submit a proposal to them. That's it.
Oh,
So I said it's a grant, but really it's $500, like they said, and it helped. And we help them with like some outside with some tutoring, and so they give us the $500 in exchange for that, and it's really helping to keep these kids together. Like some kids, we have these older two men who are teaching kids how to fix bikes. We have these three ladies who are teaching these kids how to crochet, which is amazing. And then we have this other collective which is giving kids like chores to do in the community for elderly people who like need their grass cut or need their back porch cleaned off, and just to keep these kids busy. And they get like a small, like they get maybe $5 to $10 to for doing the chores and completing that, and also getting their homework done and reading a book. Like
Are
they
they
have to
learn?
come.
Are they
yeah.
learning coding to keep them, viable with this, this art digital world that we're living in? The
actually
young black
actually
kids gonna need coding.
We just actually the local school district just brought in this thing called Black Boys in Tech, which is actually giving them like tech skills, not just coding, but also like building computers and like using drones and building drones. It's really interesting. I've just learned how to use a 3D printer myself, so I'm not up to coding yet. But yeah, they are doing that, but they're doing that in the local school district. It's not a part of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give kids who are bored
Brother
and getting
Flex.
in trouble something to do. Anyway, that's the
Niggas,
way he's right. I am babbling but I just didn't appreciate him saying I don't care about the Black community because I do.
okay, let me get Rob in. Rob, go ahead, Robbie Blue.
Bro. What can I say? How you doing, Deb? Listen, Tariq. Um, I'm familiar with Deb from some previous spaces. She is B1. She is a foundational Black American Well, we had some differences months ago, and I told people with the majority spirit predicting, I said Joe Biden was a weak candidate. And I got flack from it because I said they're going to end up swapping Joe Biden out. And everybody got mad. And you had a lot of black women in the DNC. And that was my big thing. I couldn't get people to separate B1 issues from intersectionality. So her whole thing was you shouldn't say anything negative about Joe Biden. And then the thing that she equated was being overlooked. And I'll let her explain it because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm putting words in her mouth. This is like perfect for you to understand where my colon had the power, because she was equating black men getting shot by the police with her going to the store and a black what is it called young she was using ageism and sexism, and then she said p power, and that's I said, oh, so she's a person who's big on feminism,
Oh,
intersectionality. So black people, black men getting shot in the street is on same par with ageism and intersectionality, and she was a Biden sexual. So yeah, that's just giving you a background of what you're dealing with.
oh, thank you so much, Rob.
Now I'm gonna tell you this. I've never said P power. I don't use that. But the part where he's right, I didn't think Biden should do the whole step aside thing or pass the torch or whatever. He's right about that part. The rest of it he's kind of vague on, but whatever.
But
That's
Deb,
not me.
do you consider yourself a feminist, ma'am?
Of course.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Deb, you're 53. You ain't got no biological kids.
Of course I do. I have a 32-year-old daughter who's in grad school. I told you I adopted my two little nephews. I have a
Oh,
biological daughter.
okay. Because I was gonna think, I didn't know if you had a little stud thing going on. You're not a stud, are you?
No, no, no. Very quite heterosexual. Thank you very much. And my partner is deceased. So yeah,
I
that's where I'm at.
grew up in Iowa, right?
I was born in Iowa and then we moved. I grew up in Hamilton, Ohio.
Is your daughter's dad, was he a white man?
Oh hell no.
Okay, okay, okay.
White men do not interest me at all, which is another reason why I don't like Donald Trump. I mean, honestly and truly, no, I'm not interested in white men as partners at all.
But hell, you
At-
like Kamala Harris and she has a white daddy, so damn it. There it is right
at-
there.
Oh, I mean, hey, that's on her. That's not me.
Uh
And the bottom that's her little red wagon. That's not my problem.
uh
She can sleep with who she wants to sleep with, but the bottom line is that's not me.
you
So
you stumping for her very hard with her
I
zaddy.
am. I really am. I really am. And it's not, you know what the thing is? I don't shame people for who they sleep with. Like, you love who you love, you do what you do. So that's not my problem. My problem is who she will be as president and what she going to do what she says she's going to do. My other problem is Donald Trump going to do what he says he's going to do? And if he does what he says he's going to do, I can't support that. I can't support him in the Department of Education when it funds so many things that our kids need. I can't support him deporting millions of people um, just
Why? Why?
because I'm not going to pick tomatoes and strawberries and crap. We need them people to pick the crops.
No,
We
no,
need,
no.
we have inflation is high.
Okay, I'm muting your ass right now. These folks ain't just picking strawberries and no damn tomatoes. Y'all stop that lie.
Still not doing it though.
Oh no, y'all no, these folks are not picking no damn strawberries. These folks are getting trained for real jobs and real careers out here. And black people are being denied that because you got all of these other people flooding the zone. It ain't no picking berries and tomatoes and all of that. Black people are being pushed by the wayside for these groups coming in here. Why are you cool with that, knowing that black people are being pushed out of jobs? Why are you cool with that, Deb?
I'm not. I see black women out here going to college, starting businesses, black men out here becoming doctors, lawyers, engineers. I don't see us getting pushed out of anything.
Man, well, your eyes are closed because I'm not where I live out here in LA. There's homeless black people left and right. You go to New York, homeless black people left and right. You go to Atlanta, homeless people running up and down Peachtree. Folks don't have the opportunities they should have. Homeless black people in Chicago. The black people in Chicago are complaining about all of these immigrant groups coming in. How is that benefiting us, ma'am? Why are we obligated?
Well, I wish you would make up your mind which one it is. Either black people are like powerful.
Go ahead. God, it's a double mute. Either black people or what? Go ahead, dear.
Just unmute yourself, Deb. Just unmute yourself and talk.
She's probably talking and not paying attention because she gets to babbling. She's babbling and don't realize that she probably hit the mute button. It's Deb. Go ahead and unmute yourself, dear. Deb,
I did not hit the mute button. You hit the mute button because you didn't like what I had to say. And
go
I don't understand what you need to make up your mind which one it is. Either Black people are powerful and we can determine our own destinies, which you are a big proponent of, or
Mm-hmm.
we're just so pathetic that we're homeless and we're so weak that the immigrants can push us off the pedestal that we.
And let me pause that. Yeah. Weakness is sitting up here allowing politicians and supporting politicians to come bring in hostile ass people who
I'm
are,
not hostile. I just don't agree with you.
well, man, you said wait, you said you're from here though. I said I was talking about immigrants. You said you're not hostile. So, man, was that a Freudian slip? Are you admitting to being an immigrant?
Okay,
That was a
now,
Freudian.
next question.
Oh,
No, you
that was
said
a slip, man.
you
No,
said people
no,
who are like not agreeing with you. Why would I?
no, no.
How the
Wait a minute. This woman just had a Freudian slip. She slipped up. Ma'am, it sounds like you have a secret immigrant background. You slipped up and just admitted that you were an immigrant, ma'am. Why did you say that?
hell an immigrant born in Iowa? That don't make no damn sense to anybody.
Hey,
It's like
no,
you just
no.
make up stuff.
But
How am
ma'am,
I gonna be an immigrant born
I'm
in
not.
Iowa, living in Ohio?
I said no. Why would you say that? Why would you slip up like that? I said, yeah, they're bringing over hostile immigrants, and you said I'm not hostile. Why would you say that?
Because I thought you were just talking about hostile people in general. It's like mishearing you, but that I am not an immigrant, sweetie beatie.
Oh,
I was born and raised here.
no,
Period.
no,
Well, that
no.
makes it worse if you're not an immigrant and you have those views. Let me ask you real quick before I go on to what I was going to talk about because you've been going on for a while. Do you think abortion rights are equal to George Floyd in importance?
Yes,
Lord, Jesus.
yes, I do. I think it's every bit as serious. I've had an ectopic pregnancy, I would not want anybody making that decision for me. I would not want anybody telling me that I had to die or be close to death before I could take care of my existing children. No, it's a life or death situation for women. What happened to George Floyd is one of the most unconscionable things in this country. It's hideous. It's hideous that people had to stand there and watch that police officer kneel on that man's neck under basically threat of being shot or arrested or harmed themselves. It's hideous. But we can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And so we're going to tell women that you have to die, that you have to lay there and practically die before you can be taken care of, before you can get health care, before you can have your own life saved. Nobody should be under that threat. Nobody should live under that gun. Nobody. Not George Floyd, not Black women, not young girls being raped by their uncles or who are some pastor in a church. Nobody. Nobody should live under that threat. Nobody should have to beg for their own life. That man called out for his mama. He was dying and he knew it. It's one of the most horrible things we've collectively watched on this planet. But no woman should
Should,
have to
should
lay.
your feminism be prioritized
No
over
woman should have
racism?
to lay in a hospital room begging for her life. Nobody.
What? A woman?
Nobody should have to do that. No,
Wait,
nobody should have to.
slow down. What? How is a woman in the hospital begging for her life? What? You lost me.
We
Explain.
damn near lost Serena Williams because they wouldn't believe her about her own health history. They wouldn't believe she wasn't even trying to get an abortion. She gave birth to a healthy child. We have to listen to women. We have to listen to what.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, you conflating a whole bunch of stuff. We went to abortion to Serena Williams. So yeah, you do that whole sleight of hand thing where you just conflate a bunch of different issues. Let me get my brother Matt.
How's it going, brother?
I'm good, brother. How you doing, Mav?
Good, good. Yeah. I'm not following what Deb is saying. She's kind of all over the board. But going back to the immigration, how do you support a group of people that is coming in to this country 10 million people have crossed the border over the last year, costing taxpayers $150 billion. That you have to pick up that tab. You have to pay for that. So you're okay with the administration giving these people SNAP benefits for $13,000, handing out all this money to everybody else. And again, black people, are, especially us, are at the bottom of the barrel. How is that? How does that equate to anything else? And you're saying, and then you're talking about, you're saying that abortion rights is the same as the George Floyd situation. Like how? Like who's paying you? Who's educating you on these issues?
Me.
But how
Because
is that the same? I don't
I
get
don't
how is that
understand how
the same?
you cannot understand that that man had to beg for his life on the ground and he died. And I
No,
don't see how you don't understand. How do you don't understand that no woman should have to beg for health care before she dies? No one. Who
Boy,
was
that's
the young lady who just went? Who was the young lady who just?
a weak ass correlation. Good
I don't
Lord.
see how that's weak. It seems to me it's part and parcel of the same thing.
How you, hey, somebody's killing me right now, and who I gotta beg to go to the abortion clinic because I was banging
No,
niggas.
not beg to go to the abortion clinic.
Don't beg to go to an abortion clinic, you just go. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Who's begging at a hospital? You sit your ass down there and wait to get seen. That's a real weak correlation, dear. That was a weird, weak correlation. Man, let me ask you something. Well, hold
It's
on.
like you don't understand how triage works in a hospital.
I do, man.
When you go to a hospital, they take the most urgent cases first. That means gunshot.
Okay, reparation. Wait, Wilkins, hop in real quick, brother.
All right, thank you, brother. It's a blessing. Thank you, brother Tariq. Let me go ahead and say this right quick to our older sister. I'll say this: when it comes down to voting for that, you didn't learn your lesson when it came to Barack Obama. He was a straight up Kenyan more than he was one of us. He's not foundational, and neither is Kamala. And then you were willing to vote for that old decrepit Jim Crow Joe, the one who stood up there at the end, the very pinnacle, actually, of 2020, and said that we don't need to defund the police. We need to fund them. We need to fund them. Are you crazy? Right now, right now, we're closer than we ever been to pushing for reparations, which is reparative for what has happened to us for over 200 years. We
Donald
don't
Trump
have
ain't giving us
time.
reparations.
I'm not done, Deborah. We don't have time to push in foolishness or operate in ignorance. That's what I'm telling you.
Donald Trump ain't giving us reparations. You crazy if you think
I
he
didn't
will,
say
because it
it.
ain't gonna
I
happen.
didn't say I was voting for Donald Trump. You crazy as a mug to be voting for somebody that
There's
idolized
only
Robert
two
Byrd,
choices on the ballot
a
there's for
straight Klan
president.
leader.
There's either Kamala Harris
Now,
or
when it comes
Donald
to
Trump.
Kamala Harris, she ain't even one of us. Never has been. She was an ex-prosecutor, top cop, putting us in jail out here in California. And the move that she makes is because her ideology has her looking toward immigrants over us. Okay? And that's not a brand new thing. That's an old trick of white supremacy. They always been putting white immigrants, then the little bit darker immigrants, the ones that they didn't used to call white. You know what I'm saying? So now the next people up is the Hispanics. And people like you are enabling that. You will go to a rally and see black people shaking their ass up on stage and think, I'm gonna vote for that. Come on now. No
Mm,
fucking no voting. Come on now. Do you think you getting respected or you being treated like an idiot that you acting like? You ain't got an
mm.
answer.
My man ate on that one. Go ahead, Deb.
I don't see Donald Trump doing the YMCA dance and being any different. I mean, honestly, all he's building is a cult of personality. And he's only trying to save his own ass from prison.
He
He's
ain't.
only trying to save his own ass from lawsuits. He doesn't, you talk about somebody who,
The answer is always, well, with Trump over there doing something else too. All right, it's never, hey, Willing, you can never splain for your candidate. When everybody points out how janky Kamala is, and I pronounce it Kamala, I'm not East Indian.
Well,
I'm,
I
I'm,
mean, don't get me wrong. We should call you Tariq.
I'm a foundational Black American. I put accents on different words. All right. I'm not East Indian. I don't eat biryani chicken. It's Kamala. It's Kamala for me. Um, but with Kamala, you guys will just completely deflect from all the little janky stuff that she does. You have to deflect from her janky record and how weak of a candidate she is. Deb, why do y'all do that? Hmm? Deb, Deb, hop on, Deb. You
Okay, Tariq. So here we go.
had to,
So
had to
here's what
That's
happens.
Tariq. Samantha's next,
If
Jackie,
I
and
tell you
Craig.
why I like Kamala Harris, you tell me I'm caping for her. And then if I talk about what Trump does, you go, well, you should talk about Kamala.
yeah, because you're babbling. You ask what you like for Kamala, and then you start talking about the hospice care for your mom. It becomes like a little personal thing. And my thing is, I'm looking out for the
All politics is local. All politics is personal. We
but
all take issues that we,
but no, no, no. Politics affect groups as a whole, and a lot of people work as a group for what's going to benefit their group. So
exactly. And my group
when
is
the Hispanic,
mother.
the Hispanic community, they work as a group to get tangibles for that group. The LGBT, they work as a group. The Jewish community, they work as a group to get things for that group. The Native Americans. With us, we're supposed to be on some kumbaya. We're supposed to foot the bill for every damn body. Debbie, you're supporting immigration. How has immigration helped foundational Black Americans? How do you think it's helped us? Go ahead, Deb. That's a question. Whether hopefully you don't babble. How does immigration help foundational Black Americans, Deb? And why should we support it? Why should we support just an open border of people coming over here? How does that benefit us in any way, shape, or form? Why should we support that? Go ahead, Deb. Unmute yourself, beloved.
Tell you what, anytime he has muted by host up, I'm just gonna flash the purple heart so you know that it actually says muted by host instead of me him. Because he does that. He goes, "Oh, please speak, beloved," and then it still says muted by host, and he hasn't unmuted me. It makes it sound like I'm not paying attention or listening. I'm paying attention and listening very much. Like
Deb,
I'm paying attention. I'm just telling you what he's doing and what his tactic is, because
Deb,
that's what he does.
Deb, you're
So
babbling, dear. That's what
I'm
I'm saying.
not babbling. I just don't agree with you,
It ain't
Tariq.
bringing the stop. See, I had to mute you now. You got a thing where you just babble. The audience don't want to hear babbling. They want to hear an actual answer, dear. They want to hear an answer. And I have to mute you so you can stop babbling so that we can get some decorum in here. This is not the babble
Well, here's
hour.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out to space and I'm gonna land my plane here.
But
Cause
so,
I gotta go change out this laundry. The dryer stopped, the washer stopped. I gotta go get breakfast ready for 5 a.m. So I got things to do. So
right.
here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Answer the
You
question.
asked me
Okay, I want you to answer the question. You land your plane after that. How does immigration help us? How do foundational Black Americans benefit from immigration? Go ahead, beloved.
because everybody that comes here is not coming from Mexico. I don't look at me. That's not even my issue. You asked me what my original issue was and why I was voting for Kamala. It had nothing to do with immigration. It had everything to do with me trying to take care of my mama. So don't get me started on immigrants. I don't damn it know. I don't have all the answers. You don't.
Okay, so you don't know. So you're doing something, you don't know why you're doing it. That's called insanity.
No,
If
I know why I'm doing it. It's just not the reason.
you said you don't know, if you're doing something that you know is asinine and you're doing it anyway, that's insanity, ma'am. And that's what the Democrats want us to do. You two, y'all want us to do some
I know why I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
insane, irrational nonsense for whatever reason. Why? Why do you want us to do that, ma'am? That's not even practical. You know it's not practical. That's why you don't even have an answer as to why. So is your mother being taken care of with the health program that's going to be there anyway? That health program is not going anywhere. If Trump comes into office, your mom ain't going to fall off a cliff nowhere. That health program is still going to be there. So that's a flimsy justification.
It's not there now, and it will be. As a matter of fact, Aetna has, because of what she said, has already started contacting seniors, like about the eventual who's going to
And
need home health care aides, and they're already trying to project it. Which
no, 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 no. So what do you mean they don't have it now? What the program ain't in place now? Why isn't it not in place now?
that's exactly what I'm saying. It's not in place now
Why?
because Medicare doesn't cover home health care unless you come home from the hospital as a matter of policy. It just does.
You do know Kamala and Joe Biden are in office now. Okay? They're in office right now. Why haven't they implemented this thing right now since you're talking about what they're going to do in the future? They're in office now. So why didn't they implement?
Because the office of the president can't just change Medicare. You know who found that out? George W. Bush, when he implemented Medicare Part D to help seniors with their prescriptions. It takes
So
an
what
act of
support Kamala
Congress.
for then?
It takes an
So,
act of
so then what are you if Kamala can't do nothing about it now, why are you going to support her in the future in November and she still can't do nothing about it? Explain. Please make it make sense.
the same reason that we supported George W. Bush when he did Medicare Part D. When he first did it, it wasn't a complete program, but he understood the need for seniors to have better prescription costs. And it was his idea. It wasn't Dick Cheney's idea or anybody else. George W. Bush.
Deb, if you don't get your babbling ass off here, now you just saying any damn thing.
I'm not saying anything. Look it up.
Okay, you babbled your ass off. You done went back to George W. Bush. Ain't got a damn thing to do with what Kamala
It
and
does
Biden.
now. You asked me a question, you just don't like the answer.
I don't want babbling. You're making no sense. You just start babbling about some non sequiturs that ain't got nothing to do with anything, Deb. That's ladies and gentlemen, this is the Democrats right here. This is the Democrats right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Democrat mindset. This is why so many people are shying away from the Democrats. All this nonsensical ass babbling that don't make no sense. People aren't on that no more, man. Nobody wants to hear that. It's real out here in these streets. People are jobless out here. You got folks out here replacing people's employment. You got people out here coming across the border committing crime. You got a lot of janky stuff that's happening out here. Nobody got time for no babbling. We need answers. We need tangibles. We need business handled. For real, for real. You ask Debbie a question, she just gets to babbling about all of these non sequiturs. Good Lord. That's like Kamala Harris. You sound like Kamala, Debbie. No wonder you like Kamala, because you ask Kamala a question, she gets to babbling just like you. Hey Kamala, what are you gonna do about some of the reparations? Well, listen, I grew up in a middle class community, okay? I went to a black church. I made collard greens in a tub. I made black eyed peas. I went to an HBCU. I listened to Funkadelic and Tupac and Evelyn Champagne King. And you better thank a union member. Just
Do you
not
want me to answer your question or not?
okay. No, because it's just gonna be babble. It's gonna be babble. So just thank a union member. Just thank a union
Well,
member.
it's really not. Here's what it is.
Oh
To
God.
change Medicare takes an
Oh,
act of Congress.
oh.
And I use George W. Bush as an example of that. And so they have to work with Congress in order to change it. The president can't just unilaterally.
Good night, Deb. That's enough of Deb. Thank you, Deb. I'm not about to hear no damn babbling.
Man,
God damn, they be babbling. Well, the Democrats, y'all chap my ass with that damn babbling. Can't answer nothing. Y'all know it's nonsensical to support these damn policies. And all y'all want to do is babble in circles and talk nonsense. Y'all are very annoying with that. Nikki, go ahead, beloved.
hey, Tariq. So when it comes down to people like Deb, she has a goal, and her goal is to convince everyone to stay on a Democratic plantation. The home health care problem is not as complicated as she's trying to make it seem. I get what she's saying about how you have to be in the hospital to get immediate home health care aid, because I've written out orders for those things. But there are pilot programs within programs that will assist her with getting the help she needs at home for her mother. She's just not doing her research. She's just um, her purposely doing that. But
Right.
me and Wani and Professor, we were just talking about collective self-esteem within our lineage. And having collective self-esteem means loving our lineage enough, so much that we put the needs of our lineage first. It means
Right.
not supporting someone who pretends to be black, who prioritizes illegal immigrants over us, and who blatantly said she's not going to do anything for us. I understand, just like I said, I understand Deb's stance on healthcare, but she's a great representation of having collective low self-esteem. And just because you're willing to accept the broad issues, just because she's willing to accept the broad issues that the Democratic Party is serving to her on a plate. Once we get our reparations, we can use that money to disperse healthcare needs within our community as we see fit.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit back and argue with somebody like Deb, because she's obviously has this need to please her oppressors.
Right.
Now, on to Barack Obama. I'm not sure who Barack Obama thought he was getting through to by bringing up Eminem on stage. I don't think it was effective at all. I'm also willing to go as far as saying that this was his way of saying F you, in particular to foundational Black Americans, for a couple of reasons. Foundational Black Americans have been giving him pushback for the way that he talked down to Black men. As a
Right.
matter of fact, people across the board have been giving Barack Obama the business and letting him know how ineffective he was as president and how arrogant of a person he is. The second reason I don't think that it was effective is because I think he chose to bring out Eminem, because these people study what goes on in our circles. They understand we are claiming a genre that belongs to us because we created it. They already know about you. They already know about us. They already know about microphone check. They already know about conversations that take place on social media. Barack Obama is not of our lineage. What non-FBAs have been doing to gain power is the same old cosplaying and supporting of the stealing of our culture. We all know that Eminem falls into that category, and that he never was revered person in the hip hop industry. He was presented as no different than Vanilla Ice was, and he was just some white rapper who some people cheered for because they saw him near real legitimate OGs in hip hop. That is why Kamala Harris chose to speak with people like Luke and Roland Martin, because they are in line with the tethering tactic that many people of the Democratic Party are in line with. So I firmly believe that was just as simple as Barack Obama saying F you, F your culture, and F your reparations. And that's all.
There you go. Thank you so much, beloved. But yeah, Deb, you know what it is, and my brother Mikhail just hit me up with something, and he said something very important in the back channels. Well, when people get to babbling, when you ask them something, family, and they can't really give you a straight answer, that means there's something else going on. And we're trying to get an angle. Now, she's from the lineage. That's what she said. She slipped up a couple of times and said some questionable things. But it sounds like, and that's why I kept asking her about where she's getting her funding for her nonprofit. Sounds like she's like some kind of Democratic poll worker or something. Because for her to do all that babbling and that nonsensical shilling, and people don't do nothing for a reason, for no reason. You don't do something and you don't stump for something for no reason. There's a reason why you do something. Um, she's up there in Cincinnati, right? Very important state. And sounds like she might be some kind of volunteer poll worker, something. She's clicked in with the Democrats for real, not just a voter. She's in the community with them. She's an older lady. So, that's something to get out the house for. So she's going to be passionate about that, no matter how nonsensical it is. Yeah. Something is going on there. But just all of that babbling when you ask somebody a question, say, hey, what's this medical policy? How come Kamala and those guys hadn't done it now? Well, you got to understand. George Bush had some Medicaid, and then when he had the Medicaid, 9/11 happened, and then Osama bin Laden blew up all the Medicaid. It got blew up with Obama, with Osama bin Laden. That's where the Medicaid went. You just get to talking crazy, just saying anything. Lord, Sweets.
Peace, family. Peace, Tariq.
Hey, Sweets, how are you?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I really just wanted to chime in on what Deb was saying about Kamala's international relations and the relationship she was building. And if I'm not mistaken, when Kamala was doing her relations tour, she was talking about LGBTQ with everybody.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, like even when she was in Africa, I believe she said she was going to sanction certain countries because they weren't down with the LGBTQ message that she was pushing.
That's what Obama.
Um,
Yeah.
exactly. So as far as I know, that's the only message that she had when she was building those relationships was LGBTQ. And then, real quick, I just wanted to touch on the education system. Our public education system here in America just sucks. In the black community, it's terrible. So I don't understand why people are getting so upset when Trump. I'm not advocating for him. I'm just saying I feel like we should gut the public education system. We need to gut it and start again, and even bring back trade school programs, so because everybody's not going to college, and righteously, they're not even trying to. A degree doesn't even matter at this point because Kamala says she's going to give you a job whether you can read or not. And right now, these kids can barely read. So I feel like the education system needs to be gutted, and we need to start over and try again because what's happening right now is not working. And that's
Real
just
talk.
where I wanted to land.
Thank you. But yeah, man. Look, Kamala, Deb, and I know you're listening. Your girl is weak, man. Kamala's weak. She's not. That woman doesn't have good leadership skills. She doesn't have good leadership skills. She's a train wreck. And Deb was talking about how she was bringing countries together. Man, when that woman went over there to the Ukraine, she met with the Ukrainian president, and a couple of days later, the war broke out. It got popping. So she took her funky, musty energy over there, and I don't know what happened. But she went over there to the Ukraine, and when she got back, there was bombs being dropped, and people were scrapping, and then we had to send money over there to the Ukraine. Right after her ass left. I don't want her going over. She probably over there cackling to them, and they're like, "Oh hell no!" And she was over there probably cackling her ass off when she went over there, talking all that dumbass stuff. Yeah. And Deb, you be sounding just like her, all that babbling. She probably went over there babbling just like you, Deb. They were like, so, Miss Kamala Harris, what type of plans do you have for international trade? Well, you know what? You know what? I make greens in a bathtub, okay? And I was a prosecutor in Northern California. And you know what else is in Northern California? Bigfoot, okay? Bigfoot is in Northern California, okay? And over here in Russia and the Ukraine, you got your own version of Bigfoot. It's called a Yeti, okay? So if we can bring Bigfoot and Yeti together, I believe, okay, it's my understanding that we can possibly get world peace. And when you bring Bigfoot and the Yeti together, you better thank a union member. They were like, get the military on the phone. We're going to drop bombs tonight. She went over there and made the whole block hot with her goofy ass. The hell, I don't want her over there negotiating nothing with her little goofy ass anecdotals nonsense. I don't want her touching nothing. Let her be over here. Sit down somewhere. Good freaking grief, man. With all that babbling. Man, that babbling ain't cool. That babbling is not cool. Oh goodness. Let me get my brother. Let's get Mr. Righteous in. Brother Righteous, hop on in, brother. Brother Righteous. What's up, sir?
Man, great assessment by you guys. To ask if her daughter was biracial.
Yes.
I smelled a hint of suspected BW, and I just wanted to really know that because anytime you side with someone like Gloria Steinem, who's a known CIA informant who was funded during the feminist movement, it brings the question next of, are you a suspected bed witch?
Deb said she don't like white dudes. She said she don't. I don't know. I don't know. She says she don't, but I don't know. Let's get Corey. Let's get Corey J in the building. Corey J. Miss Corey J. Corey J, unmute your microphone, ma'am. If you can unmute that microphone, that would be great. If you can unmute it, Corey. All right. Corey is not unmuting that microphone, so
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. There it is.
there you go. Hi.
Sorry. I was trying to type. I'm not really good at typing. I was looking for your friend here that you were talking to earlier. I think she's awesome. What's her name?
Deb. Was it Deb?
Deb. I really like Deb.
Okay. You're a Kamala supporter?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, shit. Okay.
Is Deb still here?
Deb, Deb, where are you, dear? Hold on. Where's Deb? Hold on. Deb,
Oh,
wait. But go ahead, Corey. What's on your mind?
oh no. I mean, I just understand like people go through different stuff in their life. Like we all have a different path that we walk. And I think that Deb's got some great points in her universe. You're funny. You're like, are you a Kamala supporter? I'm like, nah. But I had something I wanted to say to her. I can't remember what it was. She seems like a sweetheart in a silent kind of a aggressive sort of way. I just wanted to tell her that I think that she's got a heart of gold, and I think that her and I probably could talk about different things together, that we probably have a lot of different so bizarre, but like different points of life where we probably connect in a common.
Playing you're playing. Y'all will connect because you kind of babbling too. Okay, so yeah, y'all probably do have something in common. Is the ebony and ivory of babbling. Shit. We got babbling on each side. White babbling and black babbling. Lord, it's gonna be a babbling buddy flick. Lord. Bonnie and Babble. Yeah, you were babbling too, Corey. So I guess you guys do have something in common. That's what y'all have in common. Babbling and ivory. All right, Ethereum, whatever your name is. Go ahead, Ethereum. Ethereum, hop on, sir. Let's get you on here. You're messing up the flow, brother. Oh, he got up out of here. All right. Let's get some more fun. And shout out to Deb, even though ideologically I disagree with Deb. Deb seems like she could be a solid chick. With all that babbling. Deb actually seems like she is a cool chick. She, just does a lot of that damn babbling because she's probably some poll worker or whatever. But Deb sounds like she can make some good ass potato salad though. You just got to hear all that babbling while you're eating it. Like, shut your ass up and let me eat this salad. God damn it. Stop talking so I can digest the food. I don't want to hear this babbling. Yeah. She'd probably be babbling on how she made it. I got some potatoes when I was in Idaho, and I cut the potatoes up, and the white man had chased me, and then I had to call Kamala to come get me. Okay, Lord. Oh God, you got to get a babbling story with a potato salad. I don't want to hear that. Or let me see who else we got. Let's see who we got in there. Good Lord. Let's see. We got a lot of folks in the building. A lot of people in the building. I ain't gonna be on here too long because I got stuff to do. All right. Let's get DW. What's your name? D. Let's get D in here. See, D got the little She got a little bayang in her head. Go on, D, with your bayang. You got that old school bayang. Come on, D. D got one of them old school bayangs from back in the day. Come on, D, hop on, beloved. D, hop on. Where you at, D? Come on with your bayang. Pull your bayang to the side and hop on. D got that color purple bayang. Like she about to run from Mister. Come on, D. Hop on in here, dear. Mister ain't gonna get you. D ain't saying nothing. I hate when you got in the race. She got out. She didn't like me talking about her bayang. All right. Let me see. Let's get a couple of more good callers in. And shout out to everybody in here. We are got damn near 1,400 people in here. Shout out to all of you guys in here. Darius. Let's see what Darius is talking about. Mr. Darius. All right. Darius, hop on, and then we'll get Einstein or Einstein. Darius, and then
How you
I.
doing, Tariq, man?
Hey, there you go, brother Darius from Crenshaw. What's up, brother?
Nah, man, I was just hearing that Deborah lady, man. And I just want to, tell you that like a lot of Democratic shows, what they known for doing is something called like sign language. So like, shame, insults, guilty need to be right. They just and she was doing a lot of that projecting, on onto you. Also, I wanted to say about where Slauson and Western is at over there, where there's a shopping center.
Yeah, the swap.
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, the swap meet. You talking about the
Yeah.
swap meet?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like with Little Caesar and stuff. That man, it's a lot of illegal immigrants out over there, like a lot of Hispanics and shit. Like when the police come, they get the hell on, man, because a lot of them in that paperwork,
they're
man.
day
If you don't,
laborers.
hmm?
They're day laborers over there. Yeah, they work as day laborers. They there, and there's a Home Depot. Where's that Home Depot that they
Oh,
be?
Slauson and Western.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what Home Depot is. Yeah. Yeah, that's where they're the day laborers over there. They be out there heavy. They be out there with their trucks and the whole. And I know they're out there real deep right now. But yeah, they be out there heavy. Oh, I know about it. Oh, I'm already knowing. Einstein.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, brother?
Yeah, so I just wanted to clarify some that Deb said about the Department of Education. I actually think it's a really good idea to gut the Department of Education. And on the surface, it sounds like a bad idea, right? Like, why would you gut a department dedicated for education? Well, the thing is, a lot of the reasons that people don't want to gut it is because they say, well, how are the public schools going to be funded? But the thing is, the Department of Education doesn't fund public schools. All that funding comes from your state and your local taxes. But the thing is, we spend about 50 billion a year for the Department of Education, and only like 3% or something goes to actual schools. So the proposal right now is we take that $50 billion and just give all of it to the states, which sounds like a much better idea. I just wanted to clarify that based on what Deb said.
There you go. Thank you for making some clarity on that. I appreciate it. All right, fam, let me get up out of here, man. I'll be on here all night, man. I thank everybody for tuning in. Listen, I need everybody to go to Hidden History Museum. If everybody can go to Hidden History Museum who's here, make a contribution to the Hidden History Museum. That's one of our institutions here in LA that we do great things for the community. Make your contribution to Hidden History Museum at hiddenhistorymuseum.com. And you can also get the book Hidden Heroes from A to Z. It's a phenomenal children's book. Get that. Also, go to rootworkstyle.com to get the best deodorant in the world, Rootwork. We got different scents to choose from for your level of must. And go to my